Hello, my sisters and brothers. Mindy here. Sorry about the last live video thing. It just wasn't working out. My internet seems to be a bit spotty today. But anyways, there's always going to be challenges in this world. It's just the way that it works. And I don't really know what's happening in the world right now. Hey, Jenny. But I do know that there are opportunities with everything that we are going through. And we can really make a freaking big difference. So I've been putting together this amazing course for spiritual women who really want to uplift their life and lead and make the impact that they want to. And the sections that I'm working on right now have to do with universal laws, the brain from a scientific and a yogic perspective, and these deep quantum physics. I mean, it's just cool stuff. But there's just, I don't even have words for what's going on in me right now. I didn't even know what I was going to say. I kind of had an idea and a feeling, but man, there's just so much happening. I just had a brief interaction with a friend of mine who's in the Denver area, and I lived in the Denver area for a long time. And I had 2 yoga studios there, several actually, and ran them for 15 years. And I always felt like it didn't fit in, because as big as the Denver yoga scene was, the thing that it always felt like was missing for me was heart and soul. And it always felt like it was really missing that huge component. And because it didn't have heart and soul, I simply just didn't fit in. And I found some really great people that I was able to work with, but I was not the norm, which is unfortunate. But that, I think, is kind of how yoga is. I've been moving away from the terms of yoga because I feel like there's such a stigma around them. And then my friend just told me how in Denver, everybody's starting to really work on the separation aspect of things. Like, it has to be focused on women, but it's too white and there's not enough diversity. And those things all might be true, but by focusing on them and separating people more, it's just creating more friction, more problems, and you're staying in the separate self. And that is the biggest freaking problem that there is that we all see ourselves as separate, and we don't see the underlying unity of our world. And it breaks my heart to see how the world is so separate. I mean, let me just ask you, are you going to face challenges in your life? Can you escape them? I mean, tell me, do you have challenges in your life? Every single person does. I mean, you can't live in a world that doesn't have challenges, and that's okay. But now you get to have a choice. Since you know the challenges and suffering is going to happen, what are you going to do with it? You can externalize it and say it's that person's fault, or it's that group of people over there who are keeping me held down. And you can say, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? What did I do? Why can't they feel it? The other option is just to take a moment to step back and to say, how is this happening for me? To see that there is connection everywhere in all things. And if you start to shift perspective of how it's all divinely connected, and you stop putting it out there and you start bringing it in here, you can have responsibility for your life. You can really, truly make a difference in your world. So one of these cool things that I've been learning, well, I mean, I learn them and I relearn them and I relearn them, and I'm just relearning some physics, quantum physics right now. And for me, this fascinating point that an atom is 99.99% space is so fascinating. And that material, even this body of mine, is 0.01% physical. That's it. So you can believe in the separate self. You can believe that you are just this body and this mind, and that as soon as you're done, which is the physical aspect of life. But what about this energetic component, this 99.9% of an atom that is pure space, that is pure energy? That is phenomenal. So if you are 99.9% energy, what are you putting in that space? If it's just space, it can either be negative space or you can fill it with positive. You get to choose. You get to choose what to do with it. And there's really just two basic choices. You can choose fear or you can choose love. That's it. So you can either believe that we are just physical beings here and that's it, or you can believe that there is something more out there connecting this all, unifying it all. God, Goddess, Mother, Universe, I don't care what you call it, there is a harmonizing principle, and that is the underlying energy that connects all things. It is freaking amazing. And it's frustrating to me when I see people blaming others and portraying this world of ours as awful and bad, because that's what they're seeing. And whatever you believe, whatever you look for, you're going to find it. You're right. If you think that the world is awful, you're right. And if you think that the world is abundant and blissful, you're right. Because our minds create that. We choose to fill our empty space with whatever we choose to fill it with. And it might not feel like a choice, but you are making that choice every freaking single day. So stop making a choice that causes you and others pain. Start moving out of the pain. Start healing yourself from within. It hurts me to see how many people are pushing their problems out into the world and not taking responsibility for themselves. I'm not saying take responsibility for all the crap that's happened to you in your entire life, but we all have an opportunity to respond instead of react from bad habits that were planted there from the time we were tiny. Okay, so I'm kind of pissed off and kind of passionate and happy and all of this, that this is all coming up, because even within problems, we have the opportunity to find solutions, okay? Hi, Kevra. Kevra's peeking in on us. Hi. Okay, so what do we do with this? We have two choices, fear or love. Most of the world is embodied in fear. Think about it. If you're watching the news every day, the news gets popular because they're telling you what to be afraid of. They are embodying and embedding fear into you every single day. See, even Kevra agrees with me, right? I have really stopped watching the news. I used to be a news watcher, and I can't take it anymore because it's also propagandized. And everybody has a freaking angle. Instead of just telling us the news, they all have an angle and an agenda. And I don't like listening to people's agendas. So I have a choice. I just turn it off. Yeah. I was just watching something earlier, and the guy said he did an experiment where he doesn't watch the news, but he watched it for a week just to see what would happen. And he was internalizing the fear, and he could feel it physically in his body. And after a week, he turned it back off because he didn't want to embody fear. And so how do we then, well, okay, start by checking out, where are you afraid? What is guiding you? What principles are guiding you? And if fear is a part of it, just a piece of it, because fear can show up in a myriad of ways, look at that, acknowledge it, and choose. Do you want to keep doing the same thing, or do you want to do something different? Okay. When we want to choose love, we are moving from our lower brains, our reptilian and mammalian brains, back here in the back of the head, to our prefrontal cortex, our human brains. And we want to have the high mind in charge, which is just part of who we are. And it allows us to elevate ourselves. And I also saw something, I guess I'm just filling myself up with information today, but I saw somewhere in an email that I read that somebody who is elevating themselves can make up for a huge portion of the population that is not doing this work. So when one person elevates themselves, they are affecting tens of thousands of people. They're balancing the scale. So it is up to each of us on this spiritual journey to rise, to not get sucked into the illusion of this world of separation and pain and suffering. You are a good person. I don't care what your skin color is. I love you. I love you as a person, as a human, as a spiritual being of light and love. You are amazing. Embody that. Embody who you are, not the person that other people have told you to be, not your ancestral patterns, not your karmic patterns. Listen to who you are on a deep level, and that's coming from the high mind. That's choosing what to fill the 99.9% of space with. You've got this. Yeah? I think I'm just going to stop there. I would love to hear your perspective on this. Am I just totally full of shit? Or can you relate? What are you seeing in the world? How are you relating to all the chaos? Are you buying into the fear, or are you embodying love? I think more and more of us are embodying love, but I would love to hear from you about what you're doing, how you're staying uplifted. And if you need guidance on this path, I am here. My course that I mentioned earlier is freaking phenomenal. And it's only going to get better the more people go through it, because we all lift each other up. If you are interested in learning about it and working with me, just schedule a breakthrough call. I'm going to be gone for a couple of days, but I'll be back next week, and I would love to fill my schedule with beautiful, beautiful women just like you. I love my men, but I'm only working with women right now. I want us to lift each other up, okay? So if you are interested in gaining some support on this path, I've been there, I've done that. I'm here for you, sister. Go ahead and schedule a breakthrough call. It's just mindyarbuckle.com/talk. That's it, mindyarbuckle.com/talk, and we will sit down and have a free heart-to-heart chat. I don't charge for these because I want to see if working together is right for us. All right, my dear sisters and brothers, I love you. I love this world that we live in, and I love the challenges and the obstacles that we're all facing together at this moment in time. We can lift each other up, and we will work together to make this world better. I love you. Mwah.